How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end. Welcome to Biomutant. Encode your DNA. Define your genetics. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Commander, Deadeye. Commando. Psy-Freak. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Sentinel chosen. Pick a class. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Saboteur. Psy-Freak. Commando. Deadeye. Sentinel. Saboteur. Sentinel. Saboteur. Psy-Freak. Commando. Deadeye. Sentinel. Saboteur. Saboteur chosen. That'll work. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the dark side of you. Your inner voice, to be precise. An echo of the balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
So glad you realize who you really are. Let's keep to the bright and better path moving on.
You can't contradict yourself like that. You made the right choice to begin with. Why?
Because you can't deny what's deep within your heart. Sometimes a thought is just a thought. In the end, it's the way you act that counts.
But remember, this is just the beginning of the end. Eventually, it'll be my way or the highway.
Right is always right. Guess left can be right sometimes. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the Tree of Life started to die. Right in the face. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. That's a good find. Chop it up. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Needs a key. Locked. Locked, but good. Gonna need a key of some kind. Couldn't just be open, eh? Nothing simple. It's locked. Need the right key. The right key could open this. Not opening for you. Need a key. That's not opening on its own. Locked solid. Locked up tight. Someone locked it solid. Oh, it's locked. That's shut and good. Definitely not open. Bolted shut. Lockety locked. That's more than stuck. Gonna need a key of some kind. Bolted shut. That's shut and good. Definitely not open. Oh, it's locked. Lockety locked. Locked. Need a key. Someone locked it. The right key could open. Locked, but good. Needs a key. Need the right key. That's not opening on it. Not opening for you. That's more than stuck. Locked up tight. Locked solid. Couldn't just be a... Nothing simple. Gonna need a key of some. Bolted shut. Need the right key. That's not opening. Definitely not open. Locked, but good. Needs a key. The right key could open. Someone locked it solid. That's more than stuck. Need a key. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Hurt him! Slash and dash. That hurt him. Finished him off. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He does not seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. How Lupa Lupin somehow left you alive after his raid on the old village. He must have had a purpose with that. The question is, what? There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. The impending threat of the World Eaters bringing down the Tree of Life is ever so close. He also worries about the Jagni tribe that's actively working for a doomsday and purging of the world. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. Sounds like he thinks she does, despite your heart growing dark. There's nothing as powerful as a Muma's love. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. You've found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving back to nature. It'll be the heart of the land. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the Pensai tree. They're hiding in the glitter grass that mostly grows deep inside damp caves, where they draw mineral from the natural rock. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. You can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something changes, we're doomed. The land won't survive the side effects of the old world's industrial advances. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. That's not true. She's the reason there's still unity, and the only one strong enough to keep the 6 Wang Fu disciples disciplined. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. Records tell of the ruinous devastation the Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land. The apocalypse sparked a re-evolution, the Second Coming, and our lineage. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Nocco has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Googlide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. He claims names have power, so he gave them these names to weaken them. For him, the Porky Puff is particularly personal. It was that carnivorous beast that took his leg. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
That's right. Smack that spark out before it starts.
You don't have to be so harsh. It's such a little spark.
Take it out now while it's small.
There's always another spark.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there are two nearby. The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the greater good and have a code of honor. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe's Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. Myriad is convinced that defeating the World Eaters is the only way the world can be saved, but they've been forced to Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's a bridge. Just get over it. First. Hey there, Crusher. They've re-strewed this area, muddied up what used to be muck, as if it wasn't bad enough before the tribe war began. That's the Jagni tribe's fort. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war or part of the problem. Let's see. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Points out that the Sifu has a tight schedule, but is willing to let you in and find out if he has an open slot.
Zata is the muito tloho. Kariesne zdace. Paro, ya put
The Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomes you to the Jagni fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. The news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 preceded you. The wall that separates them from the other side, the wasteland you came from. He guesses the time spent there just left a blank space in your memory, as empty and barren as the wasteland itself. He understands that sometimes we need to lose ourselves to find ourselves. But he's glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. Sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it was based on unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Jagni doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. Their goal is to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. Says there is some darkness in the best of us, even you, and suggests you embrace that side of you and help them vanquish the tribes and let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life. He wasn't sure you'd do that. But it seems your mind took control of that big heart of yours. That's a sign of strength.
Ale, zata.
The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can vanquish the other tribes. The one he wants to deal with first is the Myriad tribe. The Jagni's destiny is to do what others are too afraid to do, to vanquish past and future disillusions of unity and take control of our destiny. Uniting the tribes and saving the Tree of Life won't change anything. Their kin must put an end to the war before war puts an end to them. It'll cost bruises and broken bone, but they refuse to be the victim here. They have no intention of letting this drag out, or they'll run the risk of teaching the enemy their art of war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. Even if you see the world differently, you must hit them as soon and as hard as you can. The outcome of this war is up to you. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. Once you've conquered the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu for control of their territory, tribe weapon, and kin. The only kin who count are the kin that are left standing at the end of the war. Let's focus on making that our kin, not theirs. Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village. Jagni doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. Their goal is to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul and can sense you still have it in you, the will to do good. Anyway, you'll pass your old village on your way to the first rival outpost, but we've got no time to be sentimental. War doesn't wait. He can't blame you for not remembering, but he can sense the stillness of something lost. Crows about helping you take apart all the nests and picking the world clean for the Jagni tribe. Understands you have other places you need to go. The gatekeeper welcomes you back to the fort. Wishes you goodbye. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurled. Bangarang! You're low on health. Your key energy isn't up to that. It's becoming terminal. Boom! Bang, bang! Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop wants you to make it a priority to come looking for him whenever you're feeling down. He'll make you smile. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. Goop says some choose to be lonely because no one understands what they're going through. If that's you, he'll try to help you if you let him. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. Why not? There's no better time to do what needs to be done than right now. He says that wasn't too bad, was it? He says a feeling that you're going to drown is a great reminder of the need to learn how to swim. But you need practice, lots of practice. You need to rely on those who somehow know how to teach, those willing to bend down and help you pick up your boots. He won't let anyone know you can't swim. He assumes that's what you meant. Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. You know you can't make up for lost time. You should know, practice makes perfect. She says nobody is perfect. That's why you practice. She'll see you at the village square. She understands, but sometimes you need to do what you have to and not what you want to. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. He's learned that things are never as bad as they seem. You'll feel better in the morning. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. It's your own future you're risking by not caring for the environment. The next generation will pay for the mistakes of the last. You should look for things that are recyclable. It shouldn't take you too long to find some. He wonders what usefulness you found. Sometimes he's an expert, but sometimes he just does what's right. He can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. But that's his point, to take something useless, change it, and put it to good use again. He'd love to teach you to upcycle, and the scrap you found would be a good start. You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He believes being considerate will help you feel at peace. He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. Gizmo doesn't mind sharing. What's his is yours, and what's yours is his. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for it. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away. She suggests you better hurry up then. You won't get far with that attitude. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone. She says it's not only about this moment and where you were going. You have to find yourself first, then everything else will follow. You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her. She worries about you. Sometimes you get lost in your own world, where the only thing that matters is you. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He's not scared of anything, least of all you. There's no way they'll let you pass. He wants to know who you think you are. He says you're right. Nobody can tell him what he can and can't do, and that includes you. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? If confidence is silent and insecurity is loud, she thinks you're absolutely right. The most important thing is that you're okay. It's time to focus on your training now. She suggests that you forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them more. happy as someone close to heart, doing what he does best? Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling. He knows growing up is hard, and things will continue to go wrong as you become older and figure out how to make them right. He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training. He'll leave the quick part to you. You're the martial artist, after all. He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas for how you can upcycle some old fabrics. He's curious to see what you've found. He says whatever it is, it shouldn't be left forgotten at the bottom of a pile of recyclables. He can work wonders with pretty much anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. He's learned you never know when something you've found might come in handy, so it's best to save everything. He says it's about time you learned how and offers to teach you, starting with the scrap you found. The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you. Agrees. At least that way it'll never go out of style. You should take it with you, wear it to practice. He agrees that you need to keep some things to yourself, but in general, you should know that sharing is caring. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this. Your Muma says it's about time you got here. Says being on time would be better yet. She says she is eager to get started. You don't have much time left before the sun goes down. But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back. You might not be ready to take on someone with smarts yet. Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you. You should just keep working and you'll do well. Been working on a present for you, with the help of Gizmo and Wiz. You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it. That's why you should be sure to thank him for it. Catchy. Your Mooma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful. Figuring that out is half the fun. A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent communication device. It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see. Says it's not a record keeper, more like a companion. Your Mooma says you look tired. No wonder, it's been a long day. Everything ends, both good and bad. Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa from setting the world on fire. Your Mooma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Mooma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him coming. There's nowhere to run to this time. The time has come to stand and fight. Whatever happens, you need to know she loves you. And everything she's done has been to protect you, your Popsy, and those she was chosen to lead. She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History has finally caught up with her. She loves how brave you are, but she can't be worrying about you while she fights. This is her fight. Here it comes, the past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Mooma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. Let's see.
The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet.
They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose.
That's going to leave a mark. You might want to fall back.
They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose.
It's starting to add up. Cutting edge. Itchy trigger finger. Carving it up.
It was harder than expected to take down the Fluff Hulk. They've received news a Ronin joined the tribe's ranks and were looking forward to meeting you. A group of Jagni warriors are already waiting for you at Myriad's Vespidut outpost. You should hurry there and help them storm the outpost. Mercy is for the weak. The Jagni tribe seek no one's sympathy.
Hoba Hobaba. Boo.
Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still
Time
bears
out.
the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning.
3.
Look, an emergency box from the old days, when you needed to pack a punch to survive. Wow, bet that knuck makes a tight fist. Sharpening of the mind. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it?
Concussion.
Hot metal.
Your arm.
Wow, that's good stuff. Every little bit helps.
Pound them down.
Just don't run into a tree. This corner of the world is called Bricktown. Let's see. It's Peekaboo Park. Young ones love this sort of place.
Wrecking fest. Baked. You're lit up.
So much damage. This one seems to be in good spirits, despite being left here for dead. Has heard that you have a sense of compassion and is surprised.
Yes, that's the way. No arguing with that.
Sometimes your gut is flat out wrong.
Don't ever doubt yourself. You are number one.
Even the dark knows you're better than this.
Stick with me. We'll rule the world.
That's a myriad tribe outpost. Bash down! You're on the ropes.
Oof. Oof oof fa fo fa fo fo fo. Fim dieken funcht keffen kaput sik sock so dadik ox do do dad.
This one seems to be in ghoul.
Mashaku hirsave.
Has he
Kun sikaya
LOL.
yaba in mo.
asks you to do the right,
I arin kashumai.
is surprised you chose not to help. Feeling good is not the same thing as doing good.
Yes, that's the way. No arguing with that.
Sometimes your gut is flat out wrong.
Don't ever doubt yourself. You.
Even the dark.
Stick with me.
That's a myriad tribe outpost. Overflow. You're bruised. It's flat out black out there. That's more like it. Good hit. Give him that. Says you should... Says there's an interesting place nearby that no one knows about, but doesn't... Untended. The word... Says you're welcome to stay as long as you want. Hopes to see you again. Says there's an interesting place nearby. Says it would have been easy for you to end up bitter, and is glad you kept your head about you. Hopes to see you again. Says you should hit the Gnote pen and introduce yourself to Noko. It's only polite. Understands you have... Understand. Ooh, a biohazard like that can make you real sick. Nice pants. The Vespidat outpost, long-time home of the Myriad tribe. Thinks the end of the world is a lot quieter than it should. There's a string clonk, not... Seems like it. Once you find the string plonk, Funk Punk's been missing so long. Hope you find... Says you need to hit them where it hurts, inflict as much suffering as possible, and make it clear your tribe is a terror to their existence. Murder and mayhem and other terrible things happen. He's sure you've seen it before. Here's the first line of defense. It's a bomb robber. Spot wrecked it. Give those twirly wheels a turn. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Yes, the river tub's going down the drain. Keep going. That cage is holding a helper. Says they've been treated fair, but is glad to see you. Hopes you'll treat the rivals with the same respect they treated them. Wishes there was another way, but they'll do their best. A sharpshooter. The scaffolding looks unstable. Better stay clear of the red ray. Here's the second line of defense.
red means danger. Timber. Bet a big bump will bring it down. Switched off the light. A barrel shoot. Smack it to get a barrel out of it, then hit it toward the gate and blast it. That looks splody. Shoot it and watch it blow. Not too close, though. It's complicated. Give it another try. Kaboom! You're in. Almost there. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger.
Easy. Muy cool.
Says you did a great job capturing the outpost. You've earned the privilege of carrying the tribe's weapon.
LL.
Says you're lucky to have the honor. Out of Date says he's doing his best to keep up, but from what he can tell,
Hello.
it seems you're making progress with the tribe conflict. He had a feeling you'd get along with the Jagni tribe, but it remains to be seen what the future holds for your alliance. You seem to get along with the Jagni tribe, which doesn't come as a surprise as you share an ominous outlook on life. But Out of Date emphasizes that solving the tribe conflict won't matter unless you help make a stand against the World Eaters. That's the sound of impending doom. Out of Date's premonitions of imminent disaster are true. The Porkypuff needs to be handled.
I'm silly.
He says the time has come to confront the Porkypuff at the end of the East Route. Goop is working on making his goo glide strong enough to break the waves out to the World Eater.
Oh my god, laugh.
You should get over there and see what you can do to help.
Dust it off and start cutting. The light of day shows how bad the world has become. He knows things that you need to know. Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. He knows things that you need to know. The rival tribe still has 2 outposts left. It's up to you to change that.
Mini Doomfist
Says you've made a lot of enemies. Might be better to hide during the day. Understands completely. He knows things that you need to know. Didn't have much else to say. Is glad to see you doing so much damage, but why stop there? Has plenty to do, so no worries. Wonders why you're wandering around in the day when all your enemies can find you. Says you'll meet again. Cackles about how you and the Jagni tribe are going to strip every nest home clean together. Says you're welcome back. Squawks about how weak the Lotus are now compared to the Jagni. Couldn't even undrown themselves. Says talking to you was interesting. Says you should find Goop. Just look for the Subnautica station. Will be around when you return. Every root of the tree is fixed in the earth, but for how long? Seems surprised you have to go. This day is as good as it's going to get. Says you should team up and take over. Says it's good to meet a fellow Yin Jagni cousin. Keep hoarding things the way you should. Says goodbye to you. Says your clonk follower looks like it's about to fall apart. Has plenty to do, so no worries. Upsy daisy. Sand gets everywhere. There's a serenity about this spot. It's a place for rest and recovery, when day can become night, and the other way around. That there's Subnautica Station. Goop flounders around in there. The deeper the night, the darker it gets. Let's see. Gulpo ain't the easiest tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's good to see you again. He's Goop. You might remember him from the old days when he tried to teach you how to swim. Goop says you were always so righteous as a child, and he can still feel it, even at a distance. Goop says memories fade surprisingly fast. We are all pieces of what we remember. It's only together we can remember the story as it was. He recalls you wouldn't put in the time required to learn how to swim. He bets you regret that now. Goop says our memory keeps things for us and protects them until we are ready to face them again. He understands you've returned to face Lupa Lupin. That's the destiny you've been carrying within yourself all these years. He says that the catastrophe back then didn't vanquish the good in you. It's still there, as bright as when you were a child. Now the time has come for you to remember and act. Your life is your life, not the story you're told about it. He understands why you seek revenge, but he doesn't think you realize how that'll make you feel once you claimed it.
See? On my side. Go, Dark, go!
First instincts can be truly awful.
The fun thing is always the right thing.
Next time, look at it with a clear heart.
Darkly dark, dark.
Says life on the goo is wide open. You have so many choices of where to go. Some harder than others, of course. Which kind do you like? Best to stick close to the shore then, where the goo isn't so deep. That's like being close to your friends who can help when things go wrong. Figures the world is a goner. Even the goo will go gone. Wishes you hadn't done so much to make the goo even gooier. Wonders why you're flapping around with the Jagni. They spend too much time nesting to do anything fun. Figures you must have met different Jagni than he has. But hey, back to the goo. Knows yesterday is already gone. It's what you do today and tomorrow that'll move you forward. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the Subnautica station, as the pollution has worn down the insulation of his suit, so you must salvage enough scrap to fix up his goo glide, starting with the old wreck box outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the goo glide strong enough to fight the Porky Puff. You're lucky that way. There's still cargo left on the shores from before the apocalypse. His best guess is a power tanker hit a reef and went under.
Gotta sleep 90. Ninety.
The air gets stale down here fast. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Wiped out. Blistering. You're in pain. Farewell, fool. Sky's getting grayer, lighter every moment. You're injured. Ooh-wee, that's biohazard. Your key energy is too low. Refreshing. Running low. Slammer. Lava marked. Looks like the switches need to be turned to match so enough charge can flow through the conductors. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Toxanol's offshore drilling caused oily matter to spread with the rain and contaminate both the groundwater and open surf. The long-lasting effect this had on the evolution of wildlife was, as we know now, The only reason we... He's got the goo glide functional. You'll have a pull hook and a salvage net, but no armor, and an engine strong enough to break through the thick goo further out. There's debris floating around on the surf that might be blocking your path or needs to be towed. That means you'll need a device so you can get it out of your way. Goop says Gizmo's devised a cannon for the goo glide, but instead of bullets, it flips quacks, squeaky distractions for the triple attentive Porky Puff, which will give you time to get yourself in position. The best way to find quacks is to talk to Gulp. He has the bearings of the surfipelago and knows where the quacks like to float. This means you'll have the privilege of visiting Gulp in the Sinky Dink. He'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find quacks. That's where he bobs. Gulp refuses to move from that barge, despite the fact it makes him burf. Goop's not sure, though, if it's the surf sickness or the radium syrup that causes it. More light means fewer places to hide. Welcome to the Surfipelago, where the horizon rests on the surfy goo. You're poking around Hockbur, a prime village. This here is the Sinky Dink, home of Gulp, at the very least. Time to disembark. Let's see. Ja! Watch out for He's pretty sure he's heard of you before, although the details are maybe a little hazy. He wonders if you have something for him to drink. Points out that he's hungry too, but always thirsty for more. Says you look like you've got a powerful thirst to do something in this world. Good, bad, not really sure, but it seems like you've been drinking in your destiny and liking the flavor. Wants to know if he could point you towards something fun to drink, so that you could share with the tipsy tipster. You sure look like you could use a drink. Either way, he hopes you find a way to wet your whistle before the world comes to an awful dry end and leaves us all thirsting for more. Says life's like a mystery drink. Sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes it's awful. But either way, you can't stop drinking till you're dead. Sure, but that's nowhere near as quick and easy. Who wants to stop to chew? Says you should toast the end of the world, but you'd better hurry. It's coming soon. Respects how you take care of yourself first instead of trying to swallow too much. Thinks it's funny you wound up with the Jagni. They drink so little, like birds. Can't understand that. Everybody's thirsty. But who cares about them? Says you'd be as bummed out as him if you came for the hot stuff. The Glugmocker, Nimhimbibble, and his favourite radium syrup. That one's even more intoxicating now, aged in truck tankers and all. Without a drink, and radium syrup especially, he can't move, much less think, as the power of his mind is directly proportioned to the quantity of syrup he swigs. That's why he's called Gulp. The drink helps him forget the state the world is in, but it only lasts until tomorrow. The world is still doomed, even if the sun goes up. Says that's what gives your internals such a great glow. He wants you to know he has other interests too. He's the Surfipelago's self-proclaimed ornithologist, for example. There are other ways than a cold drink to relieve stress, even in these dark times, and, fortunately for you, he can help. Watching pippies flap is calming, but better yet are the ones you can look at and touch, like quacks. Squeezing them is a great way to relax. Says he's not sure you can. Physically, that is. There's no squeeze in the world able to counteract his expansiveness. Says you're awful brave to be walking around like this after all you've done. Says goodbye to you. The tree remains intact, but you must all make a change to save it. Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. Says the Netra tribe has worked harder than anyone to get respect. So, says you covered the important things already.